So if you are an older guy like me, I'm 57, and you are looking for a solution to stop the getting up repeated number of times throughout the night, 3, 4, 5 times, or planning a trip around the rest stops, then you're looking for something that might be a solution like the prostate flow that we offer at Nature's Pure Blend. My name is Steve. I am the wellness coach here at the company, and I'm going to give you just a quick outline of what the product does. But before I talk about how it can solve the problem and what the formula looks like, I really wanted to dive into the actual problem itself, kind of give you a little diagram in my version using some markers, but kind of like the Crayolas that we did back in kindergarten. I want to show you exactly what it is, why it's causing the problem. Maybe your physician hasn't talked to you about that, or maybe you haven't even got to that point where you're talking to a physician. So I want to kind of show you where the inflammation is coming from, why it's creating the problem, why you feel like you can't empty the bladder, why you feel like you're having problems with your actual urination, the stream of it itself. It kind of feels like it's dribbling. And just this constant feeling that you're not completely emptying the bladder, and therefore you have this constant urgency that keeps you from doing a lot of other things, including guys being able to take care of your partner in a sexual fashion. Okay, so there's a combination of all these things together that really creates a problem that is beyond aggravating. Okay, so that's what we want to focus on here. So I'm going to give you some details. I want to talk about the problem. We're going to get into the root cause, explain what the inflammation. There's basically kind of three drivers that actually jump in here, and I'm going to refer to my notes here because there's a lot to unpack here. Then we're going to kind of introduce you to the actual product itself and why there are a number of different ingredients in here that come up with our specific formula that has 8 different supplements all packed together. And if you were to try to go and put all this together yourself, which we're showing you what the ingredients are, if you were going and doing that, I actually do that every time I'm looking at this because I'm a numbers guy and I want to find out, is this a good value? And the answer is when you're looking at this product that's $33, $34, you're saving versus you trying to go to vitamin store or Walmart or go online and grab all these individual ingredients, you're saving probably $12 to $13 or possibly more than that, depending on where you get them. And then you'd have to worry about the actual formulation of each one to put it into how we do this right here. And that's the cool thing about Nature's Pure Blend. Not only do we not cut corners, not only do we give you pure organic products that are based in the United States, they only are sourced here. They're put together, formulated, and combined in a FDA regulated facility. And then we make sure everything, including even the gel caps, are altogether compliant. They are gluten-free. They're actually vegan as well. So if you happen to be someone that does not prefer protein type products, we cover the bases all the way across the board. That's how much we care. But we are able to do that and do that as a great company that's still able to give you cost effectiveness. And that's what we're going to talk about here at the end after we go through all these details. So let's jump in and let's talk about the problem itself. And I'm going to show you right here, this is basically the bladder, okay? And the bladder right here, obviously, when it gets full of urine and you need to go, you have this little thing right here that looks like a walnut that actually sits aside the urethra, okay? And when this becomes inflamed or it swells, what it does is it puts pressure right there. And not only does it keep you from being able to fully urinate or empty the bladder itself, but it causes the urination process itself to become painful. So it's a combination of a lot of things all together here. These, as far as a root cause, are built from oxidative stress, and that actually could also come from just stress in general that is triggered by just normal lifestyle. The next thing is there's a process that creates the inflammation, and I'm going to show you how all that is actually worked through, or how we help you with a support mechanism that helps you to tap those different problems down and bring them back towards a normalization type of process, okay? And the other thing that is the big problem here is DHT, which is a form of testosterone, but ultimately it's a imbalancing of testosterone and estrogen. So yes, even though you may be male, you still have estrogen hormone in your body, just a lower amount than a female that would have a higher amount. Females, unknown to most people, also have testosterone. They just have a lower portion and a higher portion of estrogen. So this being a male-only product, because of this prostate right here, is specific to the male gender. So if we're going to have this problem here, okay, we understand what it is, then there's always these prescriptions and there's side effects. And that's usually where someone shows up on our doorstep and says, look, I'm taking one of these different products. There's 2 or 3 primary ones that are in the marketplace right now, and I'm getting these side effects, okay? I'm getting this dizziness, okay? That's one that I hear all the time. But I hear these other 2 problems here, specifically this one with erectile dysfunction that is happening. So it's really affecting the libido, your bedroom activities, whatever you want to call that. But that is something that men come to me on a regular basis and say, look, you know, this is a problem. I need to figure out, how do I go back and figure out what is the root cause? Where did it come from? What can I do to start affecting the root, not just the causative or the symptoms at the very top, which is too often what a lot of medical professionals, they're trained to focus on symptomology instead of causation. And that's where we are different here at Nature's Pure Blend. We go underneath and look at what is the root cause here. So not only am I going to show you what's all in the product, what it actually works for, how long it actually takes to start making an effect, but I'm also going to show you a couple things here that are the root causes that are triggering this inflammation in your prostate. So that's where we're going to go here, and then at the very end, I'm going to show you how to take this timeline and how to cut it down by a half to a third by also altering your diet using a keto, a carnivore, possibly a paleo diet or something in between. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to get off all the grains, 0 grains. That means no flour, also means no sugars. It means ending alcohol for whatever period of time it takes to get you healthy here again, okay? It also means that you're actually going to be cutting down excessive caffeine. Now, the word excessive, what does that mean? Well, different to different people, okay? But you really need to just focus on bringing that down because you need to get that prostate back in a healthy fashion. It lets you do it without using pharmaceuticals. And you say, well, Steve, I'm already on pharmaceuticals. I'm already taking the prescription. I'm under the care of a physician. What do I do now? Well, you do not want to not follow your prescription or your doctor's orders, okay? So if you're already under the care of a licensed medical professional, I have to tell you, as a layperson, even though I'm a wellness coach, I'm not a licensed medical professional. So I will never, never, never recommend that you decouple yourself or stop listening to the medical professional, especially if they have also given you a prescription protocol that you're on. This is not something for you to take lightly and just throw it out the window and go, oh, I'm taking another product. I don't like the side effects of what this one is. You need to actually wean yourself off, and the only way you can do that and do it legitimately and safely is to work with your physician and to say, look, I want to work with this product. It has a lot of natural supplements in here. So this is what I'm telling you, doctor, that I want to be on 100% in a timeline in the future. That may be 2 months or 6 months, a year, whatever it may be. It depends upon what your condition is and how inflamed your prostate and your hormone imbalance is. But the doctor works for you. You don't work for the doctor. So if you ask your doctor to help you, you want to do this together in a, what was the right word? In a conducive manner where both of you are working on the same team and we're helping to support you. So, you know, we're always happy to give you a PDF. If you don't have that already, you can request one of those from support@naturespureblend.com. We're always happy to share our information. We can also share it with you on our blog that's at naturespureblend.com. Just check out our blog under our Learn section. All the information is there, not just on the Prostate Flow, but all the other products that we make available to you as a customer, as our family. That's what we're here for. So these are the things right here, in addition to that excessive caffeine, that you need to cut down or maybe the actual root causes. And a lot of them is not only alcohol. Okay, so I would recommend that if you are having an excessive amount of alcohol, that you tap that down entirely, especially the hard alcohols. Is wine better? Sure, it's a lower rating of alcohol. But again, if you're in the process of trying to get yourself healthy and you already have a problem that's manifesting itself, the most important thing you'd want to do is to move back to heavy hydration, meaning water only, water and lemon even, but always going with excessive amounts of hydration. I don't know if there can be excessive. You can always have a little too much water, but you're looking for a good ratio. And your water intake is not just 8 ounces or 8 glasses of 8 ounce water a day. That is really for about a 140 pound, 150 pound person. It is weight related because I'm a bigger guy. I'm 6'3", 235 pounds. So I need about 14 8 ounces of water, 8 ounce glasses of water a day versus someone that may be 140 pounds that may only need 8 of those glasses. So you need to go in, just jump on a Google or AI or whatever, ChatGPT, and find out based on your height and weight and your age, because there is a reduced amount of water that you need as you age a little more, but you need to find out what that ratio is specifically for you. You can also ask your doctor. So you need to get more hydration. You need to stop processed meats, okay? So not only do you need to really get rid of anything that's processed in general, ultra processed, especially if it's in a package and it has more than an ingredient, it's probably a good idea to either throw it out or significantly reduce that intake. But specifically processed meats, anything that's coming in a lunch meat type fashion, hot dogs, sausages, all that kind of stuff, a lot of the garbage that's in there that's just super, super bad for this gland. So you want to end that, get rid of alcohol, high fat dairy. That would be something that's just a good overall advice in general. Is just cutting down your dairy intake altogether. And it's just really healthy. That's going to help you get this back in shape and help you feel yourself again. And, you know, the big benefit is not only not having that urgency all the time and having to get up and have the sleep deprivation all night from 3 or 4 times, having to run back and forth to the restroom. Same thing on a trip. But of course, who doesn't? What guy does not want a healthier sex life to get that libido back towards the direction that you hope it would be? We all wish we could jump back and become 20 again. That's a little bit outside of the ballpark, I guess, of expectation, but certainly get yourself back into a healthy environment where you and your partner feel good again. Why would you want to do that? So this really is the things that you need to cut down and get rid of. So you're going to end up reducing this hormone imbalance, the inflammation and the stress that's caused right here to the prostate gland that's causing the problem with the stress and the pain coming from not being able to fully empty the bladder and causing the pain here in the actual urethra. So if you want to get rid of the side effects, be sure to work with your doctor and explain to them that you want to wean yourself off. You'd like to use a good product that doesn't have side effects, but you also have to be careful. And by the way, if you want to get the PDF that I put together here, the ingredients that we have right here can have some interactions. Not that they have side effects like a prescription does, but if you're already taking a prescription here and then you're adding these without telling your doctor, you can have some negative side effects. So be sure to talk to your pharmacist, call your doctor. If you can't reach your doctor, call the nurse that works with your doctor and explain to them. You can send them a copy of our product and say, hey, I'm wanting to make sure that the dosage that I'm on right now, that if I take this particular natural supplement combination, I don't want to cause some type of drug interaction or a side effect. Always important to do that, okay? So let's talk about what's actually in the product and kind of unbox it. You already know that Nature's Pure Blend is all about not cutting corners, no fillers, nothing that's in the product. There's nothing in the product that we don't actually disclose, and we actually show you on the label exactly what the milligrams are. And so we do that because it's full disclosure, it's transparent, it's transparency. That's the kind of company we are. If we were taking that product, we would want to know exactly what's in it. So we don't give you any of this proprietary type of formula stuff and then hide what's actually in there. We show it to you all up front, and that's how we have created over 500,000 customers in the last 5 years, is because we're just all about transparency, showing you exactly what's in our product. We want you to be healthy, and we want it to give you a great result. So saw palmetto, that's probably the most important thing, along with this DIM right here that focuses on DHT balancing. DHT is the imbalance of the hormone testosterone, and it's thrown out the normal balance between estrogen and testosterone itself. So when testosterone converts into DHT, which is more potent, then you start having this problem. This creates a chain effect of inflammation, oxidation of stress, and so forth. So this Palmetto and the DIM ingredients in here both target the DHT, or the balancing of the hormone. The next thing we have is turmeric, and turmeric goes after the inflammation itself, which is the swelling of this walnut-sized organ that actually becomes puffy and gets inflamed. So that turmeric right there is not only is that good just for your prostate gland, but it's good for any type of inflammation you have in your body. It's got tons of medical research. This is a fantastic supplement here. Quercetin, this one here is an antioxidant. So there is some oxidative stress that I mentioned here that's coming just from what's going on inside of your body, that's coming from these types of poor food products, okay? That oxidative stress is something that the antioxidant, work against that, will help to counterbalance. The next thing we have right here is cranberry. Now, cranberry is designed for urinary tract infections, which is right here. So if you need to be able to, you've already got an infection or you want to prevent an infection, it's really great to have this natural supplement as cranberry. You can drink cranberry juice. Some people like to actually eat cranberries. Fantastic thing to do. We put it in the product itself. The next thing is green tea. Green tea has so many proven scientific research on it acting as an antioxidant along with quercetin. The next thing, vitamin D and zinc. Now, what's interesting, vitamin D and zinc, both from a male standpoint, most of us are deficient in that. But generally, because we do not get enough access to the general sun, we're always either in a car or inside of a house or a building or whatever. We really don't get a normal amount of vitamin D, so our body doesn't get that on its skin and be able to convert it into vitamin D. So that means you have to go with a healthy solution to help you get that brought back up, because this will have a lot of other benefits, not just the reduction or the normalization of the prostate gland. And zinc, of course, has many, many benefits as well, but all those also work for immune support, because when you have inflammation means that there is an attack on the immune system, and inflammation is the response back to that immune system that's fighting to get you back to normal. Okay, so that's what inflammation actually is. And the last thing, the BioPerine, that is more of an absorption that just helps you exclamate the absorption of all of these other 7 different natural supplements. So let's talk about what timelines are we talking about here. That's a reasonable timeline for you to be able to take this product on a regular daily basis. And by the way, don't pass over that regular daily basis. The consistency of you taking your natural supplements is absolutely critical. Taking it here or there kind of willy-nilly, when you remember it, when you don't, and then expecting some type of results, you have to understand that the consistency of the poor diet here, that's called the American diet, maybe too much alcohol, too much caffeine, and the other types of too many grains, too much sugar, absolutely a huge problem, and then too much of the heavy high-fat dairy. Those things are something that you've consistently been doing incorrectly for months, years, decades, maybe most of your life. Why? Because the American diet has and is based on a lot of these kind of things. So now, if you're going to try to counteract that or move the clock backwards, that means you've got to be equally as consistent doing the better things now for your body, for your lifestyle, as you were consistent about doing the wrong things, even though they may have been inadvertent or unconscious. You were just going with the flow and following everybody else, and those were the diets that we were eating. But those diets exhibit these kinds of problems, and ultimately it's the food organization, the big companies, that actually create that problem by putting a lot of things like vegetable oils. Those have to stop. Take all those out of your diet, and if you're looking at something here that's going to really accelerate getting you back to a healthy state, in addition to the prostate flow that we have that is so absolutely valuable for you. If you want to take this and put it on NOS, add the turbo to it, whatever you want to call it, put dual exhaust, headers, whatever that term means to you, to understand, guys, that if you want this product to not just work, but you want it to work in half the time, then one of the things you're going to need to do is consider the fact, at least for a short period of time, of shifting off a high ultra processed diet that has alcohol, doesn't have enough hydration from water, and you're also missing other types of vitamins along the way that we put in there for you. But in doing all that, you have to change what you're sticking into your mouth, okay? And that means the profile. That means anything that's a grain, anything that's got flour, anything that is oats or anything like that, all those are grains. And during the period of time that you want to get yourself back to a healthy state, you should really consider the idea of either going after a keto, a paleo, or even more extreme, a carnivore diet, meaning that you are eating only butter and protein only from meats. Okay, so that's all that you're putting in your mouth. There's no vegetables, no grains, no sugars, no nothing else. So it's like having 2 fillets a day, maybe 3 fillets a day or whatever, maybe a hamburger patty. But if you want to learn more about that particular diet, you can look at Dr. Saladino that has a great book on it. It popped up on Joe Rogan about 4 years ago. He's got a hybrid system that works really well, but a short period of time of just getting off the ultra processed and putting yourself back into a healthy state. The other thing you can consider as well is looking potentially at a fast, whether that's intermittent fasting, reducing the number of hours a day that you actually take in food products to maybe only 8-hour window or 6-hour window. And then the rest of the time, including while you're sleeping 6-8 hours a night, you're not eating anything. So you cut down all the snacking and you're compressing your food window only to 6, maybe 8 hours a day. And maybe you're eating 2 or 3 healthy meals, but in that time, you're not doing any snacking. That's called intermittent fasting. Super healthy. You can do that on a regular basis. Not only is it going to help you reset your entire microbiome and how your body works, but a lot of people also enjoy some weight loss as well, simply because it's healthier for your system to reduce the window of feeding time. Other people can look at Dr. Fung, F-U-N-G. He's an expert in actually multi-day fasting. He not only endorses the intermittent fasting, but actually extends that to 2, 3, 4 days. And doing that time frame, you get amazing number of results. Check out Dr. Fung. You can check him out on YouTube. I love his stuff. It's really well proven, and it's backed by medical science and research that if you just stop constantly feeding your pie hole, that's what my dad called it. If you stop doing that, then you let your body actually start doing the self-diagnostic. It starts scavenging all the bad stuff out of your system, and it starts balancing all the imbalances that your body never gets a chance to do because we're constantly sticking a snack or other kind of food products, drinking coffee, drinking alcohol. And so your microbiome, your gut system, your intestines, the whole ecosystem in our body is just constantly bombarded with trying to figure out what to do with this garbage that we call food, but in essence, it's really not nutritional. Hence the reason to supplement your diet with nutritional supplements, because you're not getting the correct amount of nutrients out of your actual food itself, the diet that you're eating, okay? So that's my, what you would call my soapbox there. So if we're looking at this timeline, 4 to 8 weeks here for the saw palmetto to actually start kicking in, 2 to 4 for the turmeric, 3 to 6 for the Quercetin, excuse me, pronounced that wrong, 6 to 12 weeks for the DIM. And as you can see, this is the DHT, both of these balancing your hormones. 4 weeks for the cranberry, 4 to 8 for the green tea, 2 weeks for the vitamin D and zinc. And of course, the BioPerine actually kicks in immediately and helps you with a better absorption of all the above. So as I mentioned, and I promised that we would talk about how to make this timeline move even quicker, because with Nature's Pure Blend, we always have a 30-day money-back guarantee, and that's from the date that the product actually delivers to your doorstep, not from the date that you order. It takes about a week or so, as you know, to actually process it within 1 to 2 business days. Then it takes U.S. Postal Service, let's say 5 to 7 days to get it to your mailbox. Now, once it's at your mailbox, that's when the 30-day timer kicks in. So we want to be able to help you determine that this is going to work for your biochemistry. There is never any guarantees because our bodies are uniquely different. We have not just hereditary issues that we have brought in, but your current state of health, how your body is currently functioning. And if you're like most Americans, 85% are dehydrated. The same group of individuals are also very deficient in standard minerals that act as electrolytes. So you need to check out that to make sure you're getting the right amount of magnesium, potassium, phosphorus, and those basic building blocks that your body relies on a regular basis. So if you just start drinking more water, but you're deficient in electrolytes and minerals, the water, you're just basically going to piss it out, and it's not really going to do you any benefit. So you need to do that in combination. What you shouldn't do is go start guzzling Gatorade, because if you look on the back of Gatorade or any of the other drinks like that, what you'll see is they're basically a sugar drink. Even though they have the electrolytes in there, they're focused on making it taste good, so people get addicted to the taste through the sugar, as opposed to looking at the true nutritional value of having the actual electrolytes that your body's needing that also function as minerals. And that's going to help your body, when you do take in the proper amount of hydration, to start getting you back to what I call a baseline or a normalization, because we're all so deficient because of our poor diets, poor hydration, and big factor, the amount of stress that we all deal with on a daily basis that we allow to happen because we don't have a better solution for it. Whether it's financial stress, whether it's relationship stress, job stress, political stress, all those things combined together, they stack and they create a thing called chronic stress, not acute stress. And when you have chronic stress, you have another problem that's going off in your body that's constantly warring and creating immune issues, inflammation, and that can affect blood pressure. It can affect your prostate. It can affect your gut. It can affect all these other things, including mental fog, poor levels of health, poor libido, poor function, erectile dysfunction. All those things are all coming from a root basis that a lot of time is dealing around too much cortisol hormone in our body excreted from the adrenal glands because we are constantly overstressed or stressed out of our gourd. So you can learn other things that are super lifestyle benefits, whether it's correct breathing or just learning to spend time not constantly doom scrolling and keeping your eyes focused there, getting better sleep by not looking at your phone 3 hours before you start going to bed, cutting down the blue light, those kinds of distractions and stuff like that, allowing your mind to calm down, increases your quality of sleep. You can check out Dr. Matthew Walker at Stanford University, also Dr. Andrew Huberman at Huberman Labs, also at Stanford University. They have some great podcasts that talk about the value of getting the quality of sleep that you need. That's one of the reasons why we have another product called ashwagandha to help you de-stress, and de-stressing also means that you're getting a better quality of sleep and a better quantity of sleep, because we don't get enough of both of those. So I'm giving you kind of a shotgun, but effect of a lot of these things that are actually totally interactive inside of your body. So even though you're focusing on helping to reduce the swollen puffiness of the prostate gland, all these other issues have an effect on there, because it is a holistic, interactive or interrelated process that our body functions in. Has to do with our mind, has to do with the food that goes into our gut, has to do with our lifestyle, whether we're getting a walk or a little bit of exercise, going up a flight of stairs, parking out in the back of the parking lot so we get a chance to walk in. All those things ultimately affect what we do and how our body functions. And if we just start moving those little things, like Jim Rohn taught me a long time ago, small hinges move big doors. So these little small ideas that I'm sharing with you here, not just about trying to take a magic pill that's going to erase, decades of poor diet, decades of poor lifestyle. This can do a lot, but it needs also to have a lifestyle adjustment. And if you look at taking these numbers right here, that are awesome numbers as far as getting you back to a good, healthy prostate, where you don't have that pain, that anguish, the erectile dysfunction, all those things. All those things can be done even quicker by looking at moving to a keto, a paleo, or a carnivore diet. Basically taking the grains out, taking all of the vegetable polyunsaturated oils out of all of your cooking, throw them out of your house, never touch them again. You should only be using avocado oil or what's the other one? Just blanking on me. Avocado oil, and there's one other one that's super healthy, but all the other ones are garbage. So this is my point. This can make a huge difference in your life and how you get to live it pain-free, without the roulette of taking a prescription that's causing all these negative side effects that makes you feel like less of a man. Well, it is something that can be normalized. You can get back to a better lifestyle, and it just decides that you have to make a decision to change your diet, change your lifestyle, and more importantly, to get the right products in there along with healthy hydration. And like I've said before, always remember that if you're under the care of a physician, do not change your prescription protocol unless you bring this to your doctor's attention and talk to him or her about the combination of bringing these together. This can make a difference in your life. If you have questions, you want a copy of our PDF, we'll put it in the actual description here on our YouTube channel. And if you don't have an ability to grab that link, you can always email us at support@nature's Pure Blend, or you can jump on our website and go to our FAQ section. All of those links are always there. We want to educate you, whether you decide to buy the product from us or you get it from somewhere else. We want to make sure that your health and your wellness is the best that it could possibly be. And that's why we're here, to make a difference in your life. Hope you have a great day. My name is Steve Moreland again. I'm the wellness coach at Nature's Pure Blend.